Hello my fellow crafters. Today I am going to show you how I make rings like this. Now, these are a very common ring to make, but everybody has their own unique way of doing them, and I'm going to show you how I make mine. And to make these, you can use either a 20 gauge wire, like this smaller ring here, or an 18 gauge wire. I'm going to be using 18 gauge wires today. And I'm going to be using color-coded wires. I have a little bit of this red left, so I want to make a few of the reds and some of this rose gold. I really did think I made enough rings to last me for a while, but I was very wrong on that. Now I'm going to give myself approximately 16 inches of the red wire here. And I think I'm going to make a size 10. And what I'm going to do is kind of hold the center on that ring mandrel. And bring it all the way around until I come over to the other end. Just like that. Now, I forgot to mention the only tools that I'm going to be using today are my ring mandrel. And this is a stepped ring mandrel. These are absolutely wonderful to have. Not as easy to get as they used to be, but I will leave a link for one here. And then I'm going to be using my precision pliers and my flush cutters. And that is it. All right, so now that I have the wire up on the top like this, make sure it's nice and tight to that ring mandrel. And then I'm going to bring my wires together so they're crossing, just like that. And I'm just going to give them a nice twist. And that locks them into place, and it also gives me the start of my rose. And I'm gonna twist it just a little bit more just to make sure it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to start to bring the wire around and down. Just like that. And you want to kind of keep it a little bit tight when you're first starting out. And then you can either go over top or you can go underneath. And I am going to go underneath this time around, and when I do the rose gold, I'll go over top so you can see what the difference is. Now, some people will actually twist the wire as they go, or they'll just kind of twist it down and then wrap it around, which I've done that before, but to me this locks into place a little bit better, and it has a little bit more of a rose look. And as you can see, I'm moving the ring mandrel around instead of trying to twist my arm about or my wrist about making these. You can build these up as much as you want or down as much as you want. And I think I am going to end it here. This one's going to wrap around that way, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring this one around and underneath that one to go over there. Actually, no, that's not going to work out for me. We're just going to bring this one all the way around. All right. So this is definitely a bit of a rose right here, and we need to lock this into place. So to do that, I'm going to slide it off that ring mandrel. Now some people will take and just tuck the ends down inside of the rose. You can do that. I don't really like doing that. It doesn't give it as secure of a finish because it gives it the opportunity for it to get caught on something or just unravel a little bit too much and potentially poke somebody, and I do not want that. So I'm going to finish these the way I normally finish my rings with the beads. And if you've not seen how I make those, I will leave a link right here and also in the description. Now, as I go around this, I'm going to kind of pinch it down a little bit here and there. Now, unfortunately, with the red, it does have a nice coating on it, but I can be really rough on things, which causes me to nick things a little bit too much, especially the 18 gauge, because you really have to work a little bit harder with it. With the 20 gauge, you don't have to work as hard, but the 20 gauge, you kind of have to stick with smaller roses and smaller rings. Now this wire here is actually a copper core wire with a sterling plate, and then over top of the sterling plate is the red coating, and then there's a protective enamel coat over top of that. They are really nice and they hold up really well. It's just, like I said, I'm a bit rough on things. So now that I have the arms down on those, I'm just going to lift them up just a little bit because I pushed it down so it kind of have memory, and also so I have an idea where to cut it. And then I am going to cut a flush cut as center so that the end of it kind of lies in the center as much as possible. Because I don't want any overhang on either side or either direction. And then you just come in and kind of pinch it down. Now this is where sometimes you might need that heavier duty set of pliers, but I'm already rough enough on it to begin with, so I don't really want to bring in the heavy duty ones because I might get a little too rough. And I don't mind some of the enamel coming off as long as that wire is pinched down and I don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt. That's the most important part. Is preventing injuries. I don't really have to worry about that too much with the rose gold one. It's just I've noticed that the ones with high color, like the reds and the blues and stuff like that, they nick a little bit easier, at least for me. But like I said, I am very, very rough on things, which does not help. Okay, so this one here, once again, I'm going to give myself about 16 inches, give or take. And let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do another 9. So same as before, you want to put your thumb down on that center to kind of hold it onto the mandrel. And then start bringing those arms around. You don't have to hold your thumb there. I just feel like, or I noticed that it seems to give it a more rounded look instead of maybe sometimes having a little bit of a bump. And I'm going to tighten them wires up. And then I'm going to give them a nice cross. Or I should say a twist. Now last time I was going under, and I'm going to get this started and then I'll worry about how I am going to go about them. Last time I said, like with the last ring, I went underneath, and this time I am going to go over top. So you can see the difference in how it looks. And I encourage you to try both to see how you like it. They both work well, but they both have a little bit of a different look. This one has, I think, a little bit more of a prominent petal look. But until I get it locked into place, it's going to have a little bit more movement, as you can tell. See, it's not quite as sticky, I guess is a good way to put it. I'm actually going to end that one right there. And bring that one over. Yep. All right. Definitely give myself a bit more wire than I needed, but that's okay. I'm going to give it a trim so that I'm not working with so much. Now, since this side is kind of hidden underneath this one, I'm going to finish this side off first, so that way when I finish this one off, I can finish tightening it, and it's going to be at the right position. All right, so that side is locked into place. I can go ahead and move on to this side. Now with this being an 18 gauge wire, it is definitely a lot stiffer. A little bit harder to work with, but it's also going to be more durable, and it's going to hold that rose shape a lot better than a 20 gauge will, which is another reason why if you're going to use 20 gauge, you can only use it for the small sizes like the 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's a small chance you can get away with a 20, or I'm sorry, a size 8 ring, but I really don't suggest it. It's going to be a little too flimsy for that size ring and the size rose. They're definitely, even though it's a smaller gauge and generally easier to work with, it's actually a little harder to make a good rose with them, because it just doesn't hold that shape very well. Now, unfortunately though, little kids really like some of these roses, but because I don't make a whole lot of them, I don't have a whole lot to offer them. And once again, you want to make sure that you don't have any rough spots. Nothing for it to catch on. All right, so we have our 2 rings. I don't know how well you can see the difference with the one that I did underneath versus the one that I did over top. The red one seems to stand up a little bit more. Let me see if I can get that light on a little bit better. Now this red one here seems to have a little bit more lift to it, it seems. And maybe not. I mean, they look very similar, but honestly, I think this one has more of a rose look to it when you go over top. And this one does still have a rose look to it, but I think this one's a little bit more defined. So it really is dependent on how you do it, but it shows how there is a difference between the two. Which one do you like better? If you were to make these, which one do you think that you will enjoy making the most? Or do you think you're going to try a whole different style altogether? All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed making these with me today, and I hope to see you again soon. I have a few different things that I am working on right now and that I have in the works, and I hope to share quite a few of them with you. But in the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again soon. Happy crafting. Bye.